All right, today we're going to talk about drawing noses. We've already done eyes, so we're just continuing on with the rest of the face. All right, so with a nose, it's something that is actually really easy to draw, but it's also very easy to make it look wrong to where it will completely ruin the way that a person looks on their face. So just like with the eyes, we need to have a forward-facing view, we need to have a three-quarter view, one male, one female. All right, now with noses, it is basically made up of three circles, okay? So you have for a forward-facing nose, so we'll look at her, at Jennifer Aniston here. We've got a big circle for the point of the nose, and then we'll have two smaller circles on either side. Now her head's turned just a little bit, so we'll have the circle on the left side will be a little bit smaller than the circle that we put over here on the right side. Now, this can vary a little bit depending on the shape of the nose. Like with her nose here, her nose is relatively kind of round at the bottom, so those circles on the outside edge would be a little bit smaller, and you see more of her nostril down here, which can happen. People have different shaped noses, so some are really skinny, some are really wide. It just depends on what it is that you're drawing for that particular person. Okay, and the angle of the image depends on that as well. So we've got these circles. So I'm going to erase this top part here and erase this little part here. So that's pretty close to having a nose the way it is there. So what we're going to do is take this, it's the shape of the center circle, and that's going to be this part here. It's going to go into the nostril or into the circle that's over here on the right. So it goes like this and wraps into this nostril. We're going to leave that and come over to the next one where this comes up, and on her it actually comes up, and that's what goes into the shadow right there. So this comes up. We don't really see any of the nostril there. We see a little bit of a bump. So this goes up into the shadow of her face, and then the rest of this we'll deal with here in a moment. Now, when we draw a nose, a lot of people have a tendency when they draw a nose to do something like this, where they draw two lines and they get a little squiggle here for the edge of it. If you look at people, they do not have lines on their nose. It's a shadow. So we've got the shadow from underneath her eye, rolls up on her cheek, rolls up into the nose. It gets a little bit darker. We've got a highlight, and it goes darker, and it goes darker more, and it goes back to light. So there are no lines there. It's just a transition of value from one area into the next. So we see a little bit of a harder shadow down here to kind of give us a definite edge, but on the top part of the nose itself, there isn't going to be one. The only time that you're going to have a real hard edge by the nose is if you have somebody that's wearing glasses. And like with him, his glasses are sticking up a little bit, so you still see the shadows as they roll around. If you wear glasses where it fits real tight on the nose, where it doesn't have those little pads, then that's going to be an edge, but again, it's just going to be a darker value. Okay. So we're looking at this. We've got a highlight on the tip of her nose. As it comes down, we're going to get a little bit of a shadow, and this is what you want to do for yours. Okay. You want to look to see where the shadows are, see where the darkest parts are, see where the lightest parts are, and how the eye relates to that, because the eye definitely has a relationship with the nose as far as where they're placed. Okay, so again, we're coming in, we're shading, and I'm just working on the shading around the nose first, just to try to define where those little bits are. And as I do that, the rest of the nose will come into place. Now this is kind of quick, so it's very rough, but you will get the idea here momentarily. Now, we've got a little bit of the bridge of the nose here. We've got a heavy shadow up here by the eye, and then this comes out, and this is going to get lighter, and it's going to transition into the area by the cheek. Okay, so it's just a matter of looking to see where those shadows are, going back again to the still life that we drew long ago, and figuring out where those things need to be. Looking to see where the highlights are, and looking to see where the shadows are. Okay, and it's just a matter of moving things around and getting them to look correct. All right, so I'll finish this in a little bit. All right, so for a side view or a three-quarter, same concepts apply as far as how to get started with it. But it's just the positioning of them is a little different. So like with her, we've got a little bit more of the nostril on the side here. So we're going to start out again. We're going to draw a circle, and we're not going to draw a whole lot of it. We're just going to have kind of the point of the nose here, and then we've got the edge of the nose out here. Now she's got a lot going on with this because you can see the lines coming off her cheeks, and that's something that we have to work with because it's real close to the nose. And then we've got her back nostril. It's going to be kind of like this. Okay. So for her, we don't see a lot of it. Okay. So we've got this comes up and it rolls into the nostril here, which comes around. This goes up into her nose like this. So right now this is fuzz dark. We'll fix that later. And then we can see a lot of her nostril here. So that comes from all the way to the edge of this circle over here and runs up to the nose. So we've got this shadow here, and it comes in, got a little bit more of a point to it. All right, so it wraps around underneath. Again, this is all shadows. So it's really just looking to see where things are and see the overall shape and the dimensions of them. All right, and just seeing where those need to be. Again, just going through, playing with the shadows to get them to look right, get the shapes of them. All right, and then I will finish these up here momentarily. So, questions?